Well, welcome to another edition of Around the Mick here at the Marriott East. This is our Mick Basketball Media Day, and it should be a fun few segments here. We're going to be talking to each coach from each school, and boys and girls side. Girls have already started, and boys about to get started. And joining us in our first segment is Warren Central's Chris Byers and Jalen Moore, the player on the team. And Chris, starting off, question for you guys. You accomplished so much last year, ranked #1 in the state at one time. I think that's the first time that's been done in quite a while at Warren Central. Won the conference and did so many great things last year. How do you come into this year and live up to that again and hopefully keep things rolling?
Well, new team. We lost 6 of our top 8 players, so it's a new team. And these guys understand that they can't go by what happened last year. And, no matter what we accomplished, we didn't win the sectional. Mm-hmm. And so we have I felt like, we hope to accomplish some things, but our ultimate goal is tournament.
Well, and you lost, like you said, 6 of your top 8. Max Smith had a great year for you guys last year, Indiana All-Star, now playing in college and had a great season for you. He did so much for you. I know it just wasn't him altogether doing it for you, but a guy like that, how do you kind of go about trying to replace that offensive scoring he brought to the table?
Well, we're going to have to do with our defense. We think our defense has got to score more for us this year than what they did last year. And, we're not going to have, I'm not for sure we've got one player that can score like Mac did. So 4 or 5 guys are going to have to pick that up a little bit.
Jalen, from a player's perspective, what kind of team do you guys feel like you have this year? And second to that, what do you hope to kind of bring to the table for the Warriors this season?
Coach Byers preached that all the time, and we think we're very deep team. So we just defensive mind, and I bring defense to the table. That's my main role. You know what I mean? But just play defense and let everything else fall in place.
It's good to hear from a guy who wants to play defense, right? Isn't that the ultimate goal as a coach?
Well, they bought in. I think last year we were pretty good defensively, and I think this year we'll be better defensively. These guys bought in this summer, and Jalen's leadership this summer and this fall has been great. And there's nobody plays harder than Jalen. Jalen plays as hard as anyone we have, and that's why he's here tonight. So they've bought in, and we hope that's our identity. Hopefully we can play well defensively.
Want to ask both of you guys, and I'll start with you, Jalen. What does last year? Coach mentioned you didn't win a sectional. I know that's the ultimate goal, to get through the sectional and advance in the tournament. But with what you guys did last year, how does that build on itself? I know it's a new season, but what does that do for you guys, maybe confidence-wise, and all that you accomplished last year? Does that kind of build the foundation for the program?
Absolutely. That just shows that, we was one of the teams that was not looked at as we weren't going to do as well last year, and everybody from last year's team bought into Coach Byers, bought in, like he's saying. And we see us elevate our game, you know what I mean? So we just going to buy into Coach and hope we are going to be better this year, How
about for you, Chris? How do you kind of maybe see that manifest itself into not just season to season, but maybe as a program as a whole?
I'm not for sure they really believed how good they could be last year. We had a good summer before last year, and we kept telling them there's no one that we cannot beat. We're as good as anyone in the state. And I think once we started off, we got off to an 11-0 start, and we played Cathedral and Ben Davis and Lawrence North and those teams and played well. Mm-hmm. And I think they started to believe and continue to believe what they could accomplish. And our goal is to win the state championship, and we fell short of it. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing as this year. And I think last year they didn't really believe it until we got going. Then I think they realized, hey, it is a possibility. And hopefully these guys will, and I think these guys will. Mm-hmm. I think they'll believe the same thing.
You talked some about Jalen, what he brings to the table. Who are some of the other guys you feel like, at least early on, you can count on right away that have kind of been in the program and know what you're all about?
Well, we've got 2 starters back with Dean Tate and David Bell. So we're looking for a lot of leadership from them. And they were football, and they've come out and they've done a great job since they've been out from football, which has only been about less than a week now. But they've done a great job. And then we've got some guys up from the JV like Jalen, and then Jacoby Robinson and Jesse Bingham and Jay Hines and, some of those guys. So we got those guys coming back. And then, we had Antoine Cushenberry move in, who moved in from Lawrence North. Actually, he didn't move in. He lived in Warren the whole time, but chose to go to Lawrence North. But he's out Warren now. And then a couple other kids, Joe Rush from Howe and Dion Stewart from Bethesda Christian. So we added a new mix there, and they're trying to learn how we play.
Have you seen it, Jalen? Has it fit together yet? Can you see the pieces kind of coming together with this group?
Yes, I do. I see a lot of players that are great defensive players, which is our mindset, and I see people that are able to knock down shots in practice. And we got a lot of players that like to compete, so we just defense, competitiveness, and able to knock down shots. That's the plan,
Well, thanks a lot. I know you guys will have no easy start to the season. You got Cathedral and Ben Davis early on in the schedule,
right.
But I'm sure expecting great things again this year. And I guess lastly, kind of, how do you kind of gauge success this year for your team, Chris, as far as you look at the big picture of it?
Well, we think we're a team that's going to be a lot better at the end of the season than we were at the beginning, because we've got so many new players, and we've got players who have not played varsity. So I think it's going to be a learning experience for us. I expect us to not stumble, but I expect us to have some roadblocks early, and then hopefully we will have fewer and fewer.
Well, thanks so much, Jalen and Chris, for coming on the show, and best of luck to Warren Central this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. We'll be back here with another segment here on Around the Mick. Well, back with another segment here on Around the Mick from the Marriott East. I'm Kyle Neddenritt from the Indy Star, and we're talking basketball tonight. And last segment, we talked Warren Central boys basketball. Now talking Warren Central girls basketball. And joined here in this segment by Stacy Mitchell. And three of your players, Stacy, are here tonight with us. And go ahead and introduce the three girls you brought.
Okay. Senior Shania Caldwell, sophomore Keja Talley, and senior Murray Bell.
Well, Coach, I know unlike boys who don't start for another week, you guys have already got underway, are 3-1 so far, so a good start for the Warriors.
Yes.
I know you guys were beaten by a conference rival in Center Grove, but off to a 3-1 start. How do you kind of assess the start and feel about what you've done so far?
I think we're playing well right now. We're playing smart, we're playing hard, we're playing together. The girls' attitudes is in a great place, and their efforts in a great place too.
Well, I know you have an important piece of the puzzle right here sitting with us. What do you kind of expect out of Murray this year, and what does she bring to the table for this group?
Murray is one of our emotional leaders. She's a great person both in the classroom and on the court, and a great role model for us. Murray has definitely improved this year defensively. She's always shot the basketball well, but she definitely improved this year defensively, and I'm expecting her to continue to lead both by example and use vocal.
Murray, I want to ask you, what's kind of your background playing basketball? When did you kind of feel like you got serious with it, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
I kind of started playing. Well, I played in the 4th grade for a small league. Then, backyard basketball, of course, that's what really got me into it. Coming to see the high schoolers play as a young person inspired me to want to work hard and be like them. So that's really it.
Was there anybody in particular that really stood out to you that like I want to be like her? Did you get into it that way?
Yeah, an alumni girls basketball player. Her name is Tia. She graduated and don't remember what college she went to, but she went on to play basketball at college. So.
Well, you talked a little bit about where she's improved. I guess how far can she take it? What do you expect out of her this season?
Well, the sky's the limit. When you have a great attitude and you're willing to work and you're very coachable, you can achieve anything you want to achieve. And that's one thing I can say about Murray and actually the whole team. We have a team of really, really good girls who are, first of all, great in the classroom. They're good role models for the community, and when they come to practice, they come to work. And the sky's the limit for Murray. I can see her playing at the next level in college because she has the work ethic and she has the stick to itness to do it.
From a player's perspective, the start to your season, how do the rest of the girls and yourself kind of feel about what you've done so far, and I guess what are you guys hoping to accomplish this season as a group?
So far, we feel like we've prepared for this. We've been working since August, so we really feel like we've been putting in the work and everything's coming together. And just like Coach said earlier, you win some and you lose some. This is only preparing us for the tournament time.
Coach, I know Murray's sitting here with us, but it's not a one girl show. Talk a little bit about the rest of your group. I know you got some good players there, and who you kind of counting on to lead you this year.
Well, I mean, of course, we have Shayla Beeler and Sydney Dodd, you know, who getting a lot of offers from college and a high profile, but we have a lot of other hardworking players, Trinity McClendon, Shania Caldwell, KJ Talley, Murray, being some others. We have a transfer, Melody Johnson, who's playing very well, is working her way into the system. Have another sophomore, 6-foot sophomore backup center, Alasia Davis, who's playing well. So we've got a nice group of girls who come to play and come to practice every day and ready to go.
Saw you play a little bit in the summer league over at Ben Davis, and Beeler and Dodd really stand out. Really good players. What do they kind of bring? You mentioned the college interest and things like that. Are those the kind of players you can lean on to take you to the next level as a team?
Most definitely, yes. Yeah, those are the players who lead, not just verbally but by example as well. And they're team players. I mean, they're the kind of girls that, just for instance tonight, I was asking the girls, who wanted to come and do the interviews, and they were like, hey, look, let the seniors go. It's their senior year. We want them to get some exposure too. And those are the kind of selfless things that they do for the team. It's not a selfish thing with them. It's not a look at me thing. That they think about the whole.
That's great to hear. Murray, what do you, has basketball kind of always been your favorite sport, or have you played other sports growing up too?
Yes, I run track as well.
Okay.
But basketball is most definitely my favorite sport. I enjoy it more. And then the team, it's like a family. It's not really a team. We come together as a family. I feel like that's why we play so well on the court, because we're more like a family.
How long is this group? Have you played with this group of girls? Have you guys all been together for several years?
Yeah, Shayla and Sydney, I played travel ball with them, so this would be the 5th year playing with them. But other than that, the other girls would be the 3rd year.
Coach, what's the upcoming schedule look like for you guys?
Tomorrow night we play at Brebeuf, and then Thursday night, the big East Side, West Side rivalry, we have Ben Davis. Because they moved that game up. It was going to be played on Friday, but Ben Davis football team advanced. They moved our game up, so it'll be Thursday night. So that'll be those two games will be 2 really good games.
Well, best of luck to you guys as you go through the season, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about Warren Central this year, and really appreciate you guys coming on.
Hey, thanks for having us.
You bet.
All right.
We'll be back here with another segment on Around the Mick, talking basketball tonight in our Basketball Media Day preview show.